Right, buckle up, people. It's going to be a bumpy ride. ITV's new hit drama, Red Eye, flew onto our screens last Sunday, taking viewers on a mile-high murder mystery. Ahead
of the second episode, we're joined by the stars of the show, Jing, Lusi, Richard Armitage and Lesley Sharp. But just before we find out what they've got to say, let's take a look what we can expect.
My name is Matthew Nolan. I am being extradited to China for a crime that I did not commit.
I'm DC Lee. I'll be escorting you on the flight.
Please, you have to help me. I'm innocent.
Don't make this harder than it has to be. We now have confirmation of death on flight 357.
I'm being framed.
You left a girl to die.
You can't do this.
What am I in the middle of?
Everyone, please, return to your seats.
Who are you? If it is murder, the killer is still on board.
I mean, honestly,
so good.
So good. Jing, Lusi, Richard Armitage and Lesley Sharp are joining us now. Hello, all three of you. Thanks
Welcome
for
to
joining
the
us.
show.
Thanks for having us.
Jing, I watched the first step last night. Oh, God, it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
How much fun was this to film?
It was a dream. I mean, give a plane with these guys, you know, and some naughty things happening. Brilliant.
So tell us about the premise. So it's kind of mile-high murder mystery. The first episode, like, pretty breathless, so it's brilliant. But what can you let us know what happens? How does the plot develop?
Well, I mean, people keep dying. So other things keep dying, and I finally, around episode 2, I'm like, you know what, maybe you're onto something.
Tell us about your
Maybe I might...
Tell us about your character.
I play a detective who is tasked with accompanying this gentleman.
You're kind of babysitting him, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a really... I don't want to do it. I don't want to fly to China and fly back to drop off someone who essentially murdered someone very similar to me. So I don't want to do it. And then Richard, obviously, is playing a suspected murderer. So, yeah, it's not a great task. It gets even worse on the plane, obviously, with all the deaths.
But you quite enjoyed filming on the plane, though, right? You enjoyed your little cabin.
Oh,
I
moved in.
Your slippers down there.
I did,
your
I did.
Snacks.
I did.
You were having a lovely time, weren't you?
I did. There was one shot where they were doing a tracking shot, and I was in the galley at the front of the plane, and this camera's just roaming, and it's kind of making its way to me, and suddenly I hear cut, and I'm like, what happened? Did the camera... Technical issue. They're like, Jing's stuff is all in the cubby. We're seeing her slippers, we're seeing her hoodies, like, clear it. Yeah, I was mortified, but I fully moved in.
Having a lovely time. And Richard, what was it like working with Jing and the legend Lesley?
I mean, we got cosy, didn't we? I think Jing took a lot of pleasure putting handcuffs on me every day. But when they were finally
It looked pretty
off...
tight when I saw it on the...
I like a tight handcuff.
And actually, when we got off the plane, we sort of had this big exhale, and I finally met Lesley in a scene together, and the first thing we did after we'd finished, we were like, I wish we had more, because we just had such a good time working
Did you
together.
want more of Richard?
I did want more of Richard. I wanted more of Jing. I wanted to be on the plane.
Yeah.
But I was on
With
the
the cool kids
ground.
were on the plane.
So who's worked together before? You two have, haven't you?
Yes, I've not worked with Richard before, but Jing and I were both in the final series of Scott and Bailey.
I was also her DC. We're just committed to
Yeah.
playing this relationship. I was a DCI in Gangs of London, so obviously I got demoted to play with Lesley. Got back down to my DC
Lesley,
level.
your character's, what, head of MI5, isn't it?
Yes, she's come back after a 13-month leave of absence, and everything is kicking off. There are people at work who are trying to get her job, and there's this up in the air.
Do you know what I liked about it? Is it wasn't like, excuse the pun, but like Route One, it was just like, so you've got a great backstory. You've got a great backstory with your family. I haven't found out too much about your backstory yet, but I suppose you're an enigma.
He's always dodging his character.
Isn't he? He's got
He's always
flashes those little foxy eyes at us, and we never know where we are with
every single
Armitage. Richard, tell us about the scene that you filmed in Stansted. Because I was watching it going, how in the world did they shut off Stansted, get loads of extras in there, and you were stood on the thing basically going, hey, here it is, look, take a look at it. So those are real punters, right?
Yeah, there's a small group of background artists around me, but you sort of, you only get 1 or 2 goes at doing it before the public sort of twig to what you're doing. There are warning signs up saying filming's happening, but of course no one's paying attention anymore. So you have to be careful not to traumatise people. I think there were a few punters running into W.H. Smith's going, there's a man being arrested.
I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about the guys in Wetherspoons going, aye, What are you doing up there?
Heckling.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did.
What a great scene to do, though, as an actor. Was that great?
It's really nerve-wracking.
Is
It's
it?
like the first night of a preview on stage. Your heart is thumping because you just think, I can't mess this up.
You've only got one shot, haven't
Because
you?
you've only got one go and then it's blown. And no, it was,
And then the
it
old
was
handcuff
exciting.
queen's going to come and take you away.
And Lesley, did you base your character on somebody real?
Well, no, but I did do research about MI5, MI6, and also it's just, if you get to that level of seniority, you know, you've got to have had a real strong track record. And there's this amazing woman called Eliza Manningham Buller, who was head of MI5. I think she resigned in 2007. And she was fantastic and was absolutely clear that she took the job because she wanted to guard UK citizens and do her duty. She was there to serve. And I think that that runs like letters through a stick of rock. That's what runs through Madeleine Delaney.
Oh, I love it. It's amazing how much goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah.
How many times they
absolutely.
save our lives and we just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Jing, you know, I was reading my notes last night and you know, one of the questions was about representation, and I looked down and you said the last Chinese lead was the Chinese detective. I remember the Chinese detective when I was a kid. It was such a long time ago.
Before I was born.
Yeah.
Before I came to England. I think it was 81, 82. Yeah, the last British East Asian lead was David Yip in The Chinese Detective.
And he's played your dad a couple of times.
Who has played my dad a couple of times, so it's almost like he passed down the legs, who's also a detective. So it's like he's been, I've been training in the family. No, it is mad, and it's what an honour to have something finally happening. Even when I got the scripts for this, I was like, if it's not going to be me, I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad this is coming to our channels.
Richard, I had to ask you about your book as well, Geneva. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, the paperback's out in September.
You put in pen to come back and...
Thanks.
So where did you find time to do that? It's incredible.
On a lot of red-eye flights from New York to London. No, it's kind of my sort of Saturday, Sunday kind of rest. I sit down and write. I'm actually finishing the edits on the second book over this weekend. So, yeah, a newfound pleasure.
Yeah,
well
brilliant.
done. And is it true that it was actually filmed on that hijack plane?
I believe so.
Idris Elba?
Yeah.
Slightly cannibalised version of Idris's plane, yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, we're very excited. You're loving it.
Honestly,
Are you
yeah.
going to carry on watching it?
Yes, Red Eye continues this Sunday. 9 p.m. on ITV. The full series is available to stream now on ITVX. Thank you.
Jing, Lesley, thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Go and have your picture taken with Alison. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, it's so